Yeah. Well, this is a song for people, I think, who realize that what's inside their head may be bigger than you're opening a new business, Rob.
I am.
And you left the job up in the mountains where it's really pretty.
I did.
But the cool thing is, we have the same thing in common, I think, and this is a song about that.
Inside my mind is a dreamscape brighter than this real world I see. Visions I invent come alive to present secrets that speak only to me.
Selfish. Inside I find that my dreamscape rises tall like blue sky at the beach.
Oh, yours too.
On to, and it flies like a balloon
With its eye on the moon.
close as my heart.
Never out of reach.
It's never out of reach. So just let me be gone from this planet that I'm stuck on. I'll invent each sight and sound, and if I should appear to be not really here,
At least you'll know where I can be found.
inside I wind through my dreamscape, wilder than any place I know. Very best of all is once there I can call
Any old dream,
an ill dream.
my very own.
It's kind of like middle school Jimmy Buffett, you know? Ready? So just let me be gone from this planet that I'm stuck on. I'll invent each sight and sound, and if we appear to be not really here, at least you'll know where we can be found. Inside I wind through my dreamscape, wilder than any place I've known. Very best of all is once there I can call
Any old dream, my very own. Any old dream,
every dream,
every single dream.
all that old fun. My very own. Cha-cha-cha. One of the things that's so cool to me is we do that in the mountains. When I go up there, she's had me entertain and play. And so it's...
Hired him.
She hired me. It's a really good thing when your children can hire you for work. Anyway. But the beauty of that is that over here we have kind of a sad little bar scene. Not unlike the bar at Montecito Sequoia some nights. But a bar that, it's got a whole horrible history to it because you see, well, I don't know about you, but I grew up on television. And television really has driven a lot of people to drink. And I'm not talking about the fat slobs who are just like, I didn't want to watch the ball game. No, I'm talking about people that are really, very thoughtful. When I was a child, there was a show called Ding Dong School. It was like, a one-woman show version of Sesame Street. And Miss Frances, she'd ring the bell. She was this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful skill. If you met her alive, you'd probably scream. But she was wonderful on television when I was a little kid. Listening to my little golden records and realizing that all this important stuff that I saw was like, my life in the making and all these things. And she used to say, so, how are you? Are you good today? And you as a child would talk to the television and you'd say, yes, Miss Frances, I'm so fine. And it was very good. She had this relationship. And it was kind of cool because she had this sort of New Yorky background. You're thinking, someday I'm going to write a musical about people in a city I've never been to where they say things that no 20-year-old would ever say in his life. There I was watching television. And I'm watching her. And one day, though, she said, "So, did you see a fire engine today?" I went, "No, Miss Friend." "You did?" That is all it took, ladies and gentlemen. I was done with believing in television. I mean, I was beyond offended, you know? I was like, how dare you lie to me? And so I totally understood years later, when I was old enough to write a musical about a certain place and place where people could respond. I wanted to write an expose of television. And so I wrote a show called Wicked Women from Space. And in Wicked Women from Space, there are these women that come from outer space, and they actually are alive inside a video camera. Remember video? And the idea is they jump out of the video camera and they videotape people, and then they erase them in like the ancient, tradition of concept that if you take up someone's picture, you're stealing their soul. They were! No. However, that was a secondary plot, because the real problem was this lady. Mrs. Ponderosa, how about you share a drink with me for a moment? I thought you might, Miss Ponderosa. Miss Ponderosa used to be a nanny, you see, and Mrs. Ponderosa had the same problem that I did with television. She had been seduced into the wrong parts of it, if that's even possible. So instead of set 'em up Joe, she's got a little problem she thinks I should know. From the show Wicked Women from Space, here is a woman who had been a nanny, God bless her, had seen a little too much television, and had his music on the other side of the room.
Meanwhile, can we discuss how much I look like a nanny?
Well, this is in Mrs. Ponderosa's post-nan period.
Oh, okay.
So, Miss Ponderosa, I hear you have a problem with television, right? You just don't like the stuff?
I've had it. I've seen far too much of it.
Well, would you like to tell us, would you like to tell us what happened? I mean, I don't understand.
It started with my crush on Mr. Rogers. Well, he looks just like the man who fathered me. But then the shoe thing and the sweaters finally bothered me. For a while I watched the Studley LA Dodgers. Those tight uniforms, what could be hunkier? But then, is it me, or did they all get chunkier? There was Big Bird's Buddy Bob, and he set my heart a-throbbing, till my head was in a muddle over Super Grover's grin. Then imagine my surprise when I saw Chachi's puppy eyes, and became a swooning puddle of cougar mama sin.
Then you dreamed of it as a music troupe. Read the damn thing!
Yes, I will. It's hidden under there. Then I dreamed of Ninja Turtle, crawling across the nation. Both He-Man and Skeletor had perks of domination. And that X-Men, too crazy. And how can you relax when you've got too much in common with the Animaniacs? Here's my story sad to tell. My dreams went in an episode where I really fell. I saw a flash of neon baby blue and just came up hard when a mighty morphin' Power Ranger stole my heart. It was Billy Triceratops. His special bet was that he made my brain want to stop. He was a manly bunch of spandex. I wasn't smart, cause that MMPR carved his name right into my heart.
That's just terrible. I'm so sorry for you.
I wondered what would it take to meet him for a walk on a heart-to-heart talk. I'd have sold all those children, traded off their last hog, just to have him near and hear that rotten dialogue. No one else could take his place. I had to ripped apart that plastic package, played with each moving part. This mighty morphine power was deranging my heart. Oh yes, I want all 20 of them. I wrote my man a letter and then, well actually I wrote to him again and again. I said you ought to let me join you and then play the part of the mighty mama morphin every bit of your heart. So every month after month I waited just to see if he wanted me near. One day my door was knocking. Could it really be true? And there stood a good-looking fella and but instead of being sweetly kissed, it was a lawyer with a letter saying cease and desist. He said, you better be smart, you'll be faced with litigation. And why should I love a man who only can respond with legal action? He was a neon scum, rotten crumb. What was my attraction? But still, mighty morphin Power Ranger broke my heart.
Somebody once asked Larry Hart, "What's your favorite song you ever did write?" He said, "The most recent one." And I couldn't understand that because, you know, there's something new and fresh. But when you get a singer like Amanda who just kind of says, "Okay, let's rip this sucker apart," it makes things come to life in a different way. And one of the songs that I have found is really fun to rip apart and put back together is this next little tune, because as I said earlier, it is a family history piece. So if I could ask the members of the family and friends who are singing this with us, why, Amanda, I believe you get to join us. And my son, Brennan Timothy Bowers is here. Brennan, did you answer that? He's a chef. He might spit in your food someday. Over here, crawling around on the floor, is my son Adam. Now, actually, this is very appropriate for Adam. Once when Adam was very little, when Adam was very little, we had an infestation of bugs in our home. And one day, he was found eating said bugs as he crawled around. Now, fortunately, I had already written this. I wrote this particular tune in 1968. 88 keys, the song is 1968, turn it to... Anyway, and it was for a show called Thumbelina, which later became a show called Sideshow Rag. And in that show, we took the story of Thumbelina, a little girl who's bigger than Noel, right? We did a terrible thing while we were the cast of Thumbelina in 1969, did a whole parody called Cockalina. The backstage stories were pretty damn funny, and they were all instigated by women, you think? Anyway, so this song was for the cockroach family. Now, the cockroaches were really snotty, and that's what I loved about music. Instead of making cockroaches like, you know, the Armageddon equivalent of Cher's hair, you can actually make them into interesting human beings. So we did. And this particular song is all about how to be a... Hey, are you ready, sir, over there? Adam was going to play the... So I believe this is... We call this the Song of the Cockroach because that is precisely what it is. Imagine this all in black with 6 arms. Is your Uncle Michael here?
Yes.
Michael Harris?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Michael Harris, who's here, also has a history with this. When it was Sideshow Rag, one of the male divas at LA City College decided, I can't go on, I have a great problem, the day before we opened. So we called Michael and said, Michael, you want to play a cockroach? And he was there! And Amy, who saw the show when she was like